Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear workshop. My name is Pat Bear and I'm here to build a model kit. I'm also here to hang out with all of you. And I'm going to start things off by throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you're not yet a subscriber, you can say hi. You can use other people's emotes. If you feel like being a lurker and you don't want to say anything, you can just lurk, and that's also okay. Lashbrook is here. Welcome, Lashbrook. It's a Thursday, and I'm building a model kit. I'm working on the Black Knight Squad Calria, which you can see right here. The Calria. We've got to finish the last leg here, panel line it, stick it on, and then we'll build the weapons, and then we'll go back to build the backpack. But I want to jump to the weapons, just kind of ease into it. I want to build the weapons here because there's a lot to the backpack is really involved, and all the effect parts that go on the backpack are also very involved. There's a chance we finish this kit tonight. I think I won't finish it until during Saturday's stream. Either way, I will do a poll for my $10 patrons tomorrow to figure out what I'm going to start on Saturday. Because yeah, it's up to those folks to decide. I got a couple ideas of what will get picked, I think, but I've got one Lego set and I got a bunch of model kits, and I'd be happy to put any of those up. I need to jig up a stand for this. I have a stand for this kit. We'll go to the overhead because this kit is gonna go on display along with the other two Black Knight kits, because I don't know if a lot of people have bought and built all three. So it's kind of fun that I'll be one of them. I'm sure there are a bunch of people that like the movie that just buy every new kit, that build every kit that comes out. I'm sure there are a good number of people that have built all three. But built all three and put them together in a display? I don't know. There might not be a lot of people that did that. I might be one of the few. I don't know. Do I know? Yeah, I don't even include my hand in here, but that's fine. It's not a big deal. Tonight might be chill viewership-wise, which is okay. I'm not mad about that. It happens, right? Like, J-Train says, I had to stop by and talk about the Power Wash Sim 2 announcement. That's correct. We will chat about that. Before we get into that, I will just say, when I do think about numbers, I can't not do about it. Number go up is something that I care about. I'll just say we're currently at 25 subscribers, over there. 25 subscribers. The goal is to get to 40 subscribers. I showed about how many subscribers I have at 40. It would be nice to hit 40. If we don't, we don't. It'd be nice to. If we don't, we don't. But yes. We should talk about it up top because I have played quite a bit of Power Wash Simulator. Power Wash Simulator 2 has been announced. Before we get into that, the plan for this year for Power Wash Simulator is obviously with the Wallace and Gromit DLC, and we're also getting 2 more Muckingham files, which is their bonus content, mini pack things that are free. Those are coming out. So the three things you would get, the 3 kinds of things you would get would be seasonal stages, paid packs, and free mini packs that were part of the Muckingham files. So we are going to get those. We're getting 2 sets of those, and it's probably just somewhat seasonal leading up to the 2, because 2 is announced for this year. PC and console sometime at the end of this year. The things I can tell you about it from the announcements is that they're self-publishing this one. Good for them. Happy to hear that for future labs. There is, hey, Lord Crashington, Power Wash Simulator 2 will have some sort of base that you can go back to. And you also will start there when you're doing a multiplayer game. Which is a fun concept and a fun idea. The idea of, when you buy all of the equipment, you just, the DLC comes out and you just collect more money. And I don't do anything with that money. And I don't, because I don't do multiplayer, I kind of don't care what my washer looks like. So the idea that there is a base that you can also, they said in their frequently asked questions, you can wash the base, you can clean the base, and that seems important. Also, they're like changing how soap works, where like you can spray soap on a hard to clean spot and it'll eat away at the grime or graffiti probably. And that seems like a fun idea. I didn't use soap a lot. Once I got a good sprayer, I stopped using soap because it just didn't make sense to be paying for the soap stuff, the various cleaners. Yeah. Lord Crash says the economy is busted. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? Once you get a powerful sprayer, like obviously the 3-prong you don't get till late in the game, but any pack that I played that didn't forcibly say you can't use this is kind of trivial. The tri-sprayer is just so good, and what it doesn't get, because length or the distance you're at from whatever, well then you just use the little you use the other attachments, you just get it done. I'm excited for it. I hit the wish list button. I hope to see more there. I honestly never bothered with soap. So Lashbrook, I use soap for graffiti when the only thing that worked on graffiti was soap, the all cleaner, or the red, which is just a single line spraying, when it's just that. When the yellow attachment didn't work on graffiti or worked really slowly on graffiti, that's when I would use soap. I feel like soap is handled weirdly when it runs out so fast, it's not worth it, and then the stock seems like it changes based on the job mode you're in. So Lord Crashington, that was a on-purpose thing. So apparently there was an issue early on in the game where people ran out of money because you could just buy more soap. And so people would just buy up all the soap, and then they wouldn't have any money to buy gear upgrades. And they were complaining that they never had enough money. And instead of making the various stages give you more money, which is a thing that they could have done, instead, they limited how much soap you could get. Because I guess the idea was that people were just hitting like restock or refresh and weren't paying attention to how much money they were spending on it. So that was their solution. They just limited how much soap you could get, cleaners you could get based on the size of the stage, or the job, I should say. That was their solution, which I don't know. So like I said, I don't know if it was a good solution, but they didn't want to just because if you weren't buying soap all the time and they made the stages give you more money, then you would be able to, if you were, stingy about it, then you'd be able to just get upgrades faster. So that was their solution, which again, I don't know if it was the right solution, but it was the solution they came up with, and that's what they went. So yeah, when I first started playing, you get a lot of soap. The new soap, yeah, Lord Crash, and the fact that the new soap is just going to work better and differently feels like it's a hard thing, right? Like, I kind of just want more Power Wash Simulator, I kind of just want more of it, but packs like, the Wallace and Gromit, the license packs, right? Well, you got to pay that licensing fee. And then the packs, they only did one pack that wasn't licensed, right? And I don't know how that sold. I don't know how Alice in Wonderland sold for them. It might have sold great. It might not have sold great. I don't know. I don't know how it did. So like, that's probably not a good solution for them to just do more properties they don't, like old stuff that's in, that they don't have to pay a licensing fee for. Because they didn't do, other than Alice in Wonderland, which obviously is based on something, it's just something they can just use. They didn't do any like original content paid packs. They did free stuff. So one could imagine that, they've been working on the second one. They certainly need it. Lord Crashton has been watching 195 stream streak. That's wild. The way they were talking about it, the washers get more abilities with attachments and whatnot, which I'm guessing means they'll have dirt that is much harder to clean. Yeah, one would assume. Or just even if it's harder or it takes longer, right? Those are the approaches, right? Like it's slower to clean this stuff unless you have the magic solution that makes it, or the proper gear. Because like I'm not going to be buying. I only buy, like I only want to buy attachments, and then I want to upgrade to better machines, right? Like I don't know if I want to get the farthest longest distance thing if I can get close to stuff, or maybe they'll sell things like, scaffolding, or like a platform that you can adjust the height of, that kind of thing. Who knows? I don't know what they're going to do with it, right? That's exciting. That's interesting. Because like I said, part of me just wants more power washing levels, but starting the new game means that you can slow down or stop working on the first game. Like they'll still support the first game, but they don't have to keep making new stuff for the first game. They can work on something else. They can look for funding of the second thing. And then as long as they're not reinventing the wheel, a lot of people that like the first game will be interested in the second one. Or perhaps you got on Game Pass, you played the first game and they're like, oh yeah, I like that game. Yeah, all right, I'll buy that. I'll buy the sequel. I'm guessing it'll require attachments to clean certain materials. Yeah, I don't know, Lord Crashington. I hope not, because that means that if you spent your money on cosmetics in the game and you don't have enough money to clean a material, then you can't advance in the game. So I hope they don't do that, because that could brick people, right? Like if you need to buy an attachment to progress in a stage, then they have to make that very clear that, hey, always have money to buy attachments. Or they have to build it in such a way that based on what level you're on, you unlock certain things. But if they're tying it behind, have the money from jobs to buy a piece of gear, and you have to have that gear to finish a stage, that's a bummer. So hopefully they won't do that. Like I said, unless it's, well, you finish this stage and then suddenly you get this piece of equipment, then that's not a problem. But yeah, if they try to tie stuff like that, it could go bad. All right, we got a leg we got to put on here, and we'll go there. No word on if this is going to have an early access period. I could see them go either way. Early access was certainly good for them. It's money up front, right? They might not need money up front because they've been developing the second game. They're not doing the VR support anymore, so they don't have to worry about that as a financial thing. I could see them just releasing it, right? Just releasing it, getting the money, pre-order or whatever, maybe, but generally just put it out. I could also see them doing a short period of because like it was a while. I streamed it every time there was an update to early access. I streamed the update, and the update was usually like a couple stages, and you just went through, and then some big changes would go through. One of the benefits of just putting the game out is, as you make changes to the game, you can just make, like you don't have to worry about people's progress getting reset. I'd probably get an early access as J-Train. I don't play early access games and didn't play the first, but they proved themselves. But in my opinion, my guess is they won't put out it in early access because they announced it's coming out this year and it's March. So they would have to put it out in early access not that long, even if they were doing a December release. Even a December release would still mean that they would have to get it out the door probably a lot faster, like pretty quickly. Maybe they're ready to do that. Maybe that's not a problem. But to me, that feels like, that feels a little early to make the announcement and then do that. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But it feels like it'll just come out. Yeah, I don't know, Lord Crashing. Like I said, they had to change the way soap worked in the first game in early access because people were buying so much soap they didn't have money. So like requiring you to have an object. Like I said, like the soap was needed for graffiti unless you wanted to really slowly get rid of graffiti with the most powerful single shot sprayer, the bead sprayer. So you could do it like that. It just took a lot longer. So I don't know. I don't know if they're going to lock stuff behind them. We'll find out. We'll find out what they're going to do. It's a tough balance, and so good luck to them, because not only do they have to appeal to people that played a lot of the first game, they also have to make changes for people that played the first game and, might not have even finished the first game, didn't see the ending. They got it, they played it, they liked it. Oh, there's another one? Oh, okay, I'll get that. And so there might be people who, it's a thing of like, this game has to appeal to diehard fans that want to play more Power Wash Simulator, but it also has to appeal to people who like the first game, but had some complaints or had some ideas or thoughts on the game, and they'd love to see those changes get made. But you can't change it too much, because then you'll lose sight of what was good about it. You really can just do, it's more Power Wash Simulator. You like the first one, you'll like this one. You didn't play it before, you'll like this one. We added some stuff and it's fun. They don't really have to go too crazy with it if they don't want to. But they can't do that if they want to make a third one. More lore. Yeah, Lore Crashing. It sounded like there's more story coming, which is great. We're going to explore some other areas, get the world there. That seems fun. The idea that the shop is doing so well that we now have a base, that's good. So instead of just working out of our garage, that's fun. There's stuff to be had with it. I am excited for more of it. I like Power Wash Simulator, as you know. I still haven't finished jobs 4 and 5 for because I was kind of saving them. I started job 4 because I was like, well, I might stream 4 and 5 again. But I have stuff the rest of this month to do. Because WWE 2K24 or 25, I should say, comes out tonight or tomorrow, depending on where you are. So 2K25 comes out, so that's next Tuesday. We're gonna look at that. Run some CPU for CPU matches in that. The following week is Pat Baer's Anime Club Live. It's my live recording of the winter wrap up and spring preview. There's some new stuff coming out that seems very good for the spring season. Some isekai that I'm excited about. A series about girls that are in a finishing school for young women, like young noble women, but they start a rock band, and that seems fucking cool as hell. So I'm like, well, I'm going to watch that. That's on High Dive, so I'm continuing my High Dive because there's at least one show I want to watch on there. And so like, okay, and it's like, yeah, there's a few things. The next Gundam series, of course, coming out on Amazon Prime. So I will be watching the next Gundam, of course. So that's something to look forward to. There's a bunch of anime, so we'll talk about that, a week from next Tuesday. A little less than 2 weeks from now. So yeah, I kind of got the rest of March figured out. Yes, G Cucks. So I will be watching that. So yeah, I know what I'm gonna be streaming for the rest of the month on Tuesdays, and then the first week of April, we'll be looking at a game that we checked out the demo for a while ago. I'm getting a code for that. I don't want to say what, but it comes out. It basically comes out the day I'm going to be doing my anime stream. So the next week we'll be looking at that. And then, I don't have anything necessarily new in April. I haven't done a stream where I watch old wrestling in a while. We haven't done that in a while, so we'll probably do that in April, because we didn't actually in January do the like hangout thing. So I'm like, oh, we didn't do that. Probably need to do that stream. I haven't done an old wrestling stream in a while. I also would like to do a stream with a friend of mine, because like I said, 2025, I want to do collaborations. Last Thursday, wasn't here. Instead, I was on my friend Zandra's channel, and that was very, very fun. The archive of that has not gone up on her YouTube yet. When it does, I will link that and let people know. Just for now, we're going to put the gun here on the back, the butt, the butt spot there. Gun on the butt. And let's build some swords. Because these swords can sit on the side skirts, but we're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to do the better way to do it, which is with the extra little beams here. Gotta do it that way. So yeah, I might just on my own time do finish off the Wallace and Gromit DLC for Power Simulator, because we also will have at some point some free stages coming. So I will be able to stream those later. If this was the end, if they said, actually, Wallace and Gromit is the end, we're not doing anything else beside that, then I would savor it before 2 comes out. But since we are going to have some other stages coming later, I don't really have to do that. And we did look at 3 stages in Power Simulator, so, and that's, pack, so I thought that was good. Yeah, I'm excited for new anime. I'm always excited for new anime. I mean, the current season here is good. It's nothing compared to 2024. Let's be real. 2024 winter season was ridiculously stacked. This season is great if you like sequels. If you liked the first season of some stuff or previous seasons of things, it's good for that. Like, 2 of my favorites this season are Solo Leveling Season 2 and the latest season of ReZero. This goddamn season of ReZero is fucking wild. But if your vibe is not that, and you like originals or new shows, there are some new shows that are good. If you like easy to watch but pretty fucking bad in general power fantasy shows that may or may not be isekais, is a very good season for that. There's a lot of that shit. Oofta. I'm on the brink is I'm a noble on the brink of ruin, so I might as well try Mastering Magic. Is a show that I have watched now every episode of, and it is not a good show, but it's very watchable. It is unbelievably watchable. Also, not a lot of CGI shortcuts, which I appreciate, because a few other shows this season went really heavy on the CGI shortcuts, where they outsourced to another studio to do a CGI monster in the world because they're like, oof, we can't. And then it just doesn't look like anything else. And you're like, yikes. This doesn't look like it belongs in the same world as the other characters in this world. Oh, well. Oh, what show has, like, no money? Oh, there's a couple shows that also seem to have, like, no fucking budget. Wild. I mean, I'm a noble on the brink. Also, occasionally has some scenes where I'm like, I read the manga for that, and that had a background in the manga. You just chose not to have a background for that scene. Okay, but yeah, there's a couple. The fruit one, the nut one, the Nut Master one. That one looks like it has no money. I'm gonna really quickly look here. I want to quickly look at Annie chart for this season, winter 2025. Which one that I watched that looked like it had no money? So apparently, the show that I'm a fool for not watching this season is Ave Mujica, which is the sequel. Bang Dream. It's the second Bang Dream, which is a spin-off series. And apparently I'm a fool for not watching that, but I'm like, what the fuck are you talking? Like the person who was telling me this, that they're like, I can't believe you're not talking about this. It's everything you would like. And I'm just like, it's the sequel of a side series that nobody's watching. And I don't know what the fuck you're telling me. It's the sequel to Bang Dream, It's My Go. Like, no, I'm not watching that. That's right. Neko has no money. Neko has no money. Bogus Skill Fruit Master has no money. Even Given a Worthless Appraiser class has some money. Oh, Farmagia has fucking $0. Farmagia is the anime based on a video game where the character designs of the video game were done by the guy what made Fairy Tail and Rave Master. So all the characters look like Fairy Tail characters. And all of the monsters in it are CGI. And that clearly had $0 fucking. That has like no money behind it. From Bureaucrat to Villainous has money. That does look good. I haven't even looked at Grissia. Phantom Trigger. Nobody fucking picked up I Have a Crush at Work. I'm so mad. It's 2025. And there's like 2 anime per season that don't get subbed or dubbed by I should say, by a company. Like it's so rare. Generally, the only anime that don't get picked up are ones that the company is going to later release it once it's all done on a service, or it's a kid show, like a young kid show. And they just, like, it's for elementary school kids, and so subtitling it doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I Have a Crush at Work didn't get picked up by anybody. You know, I could get a VPN and watch it with English subtitles on YouTube, but I would need the VPN to do that, and I'm not getting a VPN to watch one anime. This is not going to happen. I talk about anime on stream and in videos, so I watch it legal. I Left My A-Rank Party had some money. I May Be a Guild Receptionist, unfortunately, despite it being co-done by Cloverworks, does not have any money, which is a shame, because it's a very fun manga, and it could be a great anime. It's only an okay anime. I Want to Escape from Princess Lessons has no money. Let's see. Ishura Season 2 has a lot of money, but it's on Hulu and Disney Plus, so I haven't watched it. I'm a Noble and Burger Ruin doesn't have any money. Kinnikuman Perfect Origin Arc Season 2 has a bunch of money. It's the origin of the fucking pink fighter men, the pink wrestling men. It's fucking insane. It's an unbelievably weird show. I'm thinking I might do a whole video on it. I might dedicate a whole Pat Bear's Anime Club to trying to understand what the fuck is going on with this show, the origins of it, like an explainer of the origins of Kinnikuman Perfect Origin Arc Season 2. Wild. Magic Maker doesn't have any money. Let's see, who else doesn't have any money? Momentary Lily has money, but also looks awful. It looks not like, oh, I bet it's a bad show. I mean, it looks terrible, but they spent a lot of money to make it look terrible, which is impressive. Let's see. Possibly the Greatest Alchemist of All Time has no money. Promise of Wizard has no money. The Daily Life of Middle-Aged Online Shoppers in Another World looks like it owes people money. It looks so fucking terrible. Red Ranger Becomes an Adventure in Another World has money, which is great. I don't like it, the show, but it's great that it has money. Unite Up Unibirth has money but doesn't look good. Welcome to Japan, Miss Elf has no money. ZENSHU has a lot of money, and then Umlaut doesn't have any money. Let's see if there are any leftovers that don't have any money. I don't remember. I don't think there are any leftovers from last season that don't have any money. Tying the knot with an Megami sister, that has some money. And I guess I should have explained when I started reading that list or looking at that list. When I mean that an anime has no money, what I mean is that it seems like the studio paid for a license for a property, but doesn't have the ability to get an anime that looks good at all off the ground. There are things that are happening in anime right now where a lot of money gets made in anime, but that also means that people that don't have money are getting in the field. And so sometimes it's like, well, an episode doesn't look good because the studio, like, if you ever see, you're watching an anime and an episode just doesn't come out one week and you're like, what happened? And it's delayed. That often is they ran out of money, not that they didn't start with any money. But sometimes a show just has like no money at all, no budget for a thing. I guess what I'm saying is when I say no money, I mean no budget. They have no budget. They can't make it look good. Sometimes it's like a bad episode, like Toei. Toei has all the money in the world. It's just sometimes their budgets like reflect that they're like, well, this episode's going to look bad, or because it's rushed, not because it's a bad studio or they don't have any money to invest in the things they're doing. It can be, unfortunately, a number of things that can make an anime look terrible. But hopefully, the shows we like will have money. That's always the hope. Money, talent, time. Those are the things that you would like. Time is the thing that studios have the least of. Money, hopefully they can get. And then talent is very hard. Oh, fuck yeah. Aharon-san wa Hakarenai Season 2 is coming out. Not translated title. It was never translated English because it's a joke thing. Doesn't make any sense. One of my favorite slow burn romantic comedy series. Unbelievably good Season 1. Really fun premise. A girl that everyone thinks is really aloof and they don't know how to approach her. And it's just because she talks incredibly softly. So you have to like get really up close with her. And then that is discovered by her, a guy that people keep their distance from because he's got a mean mug. And so people think that he is an asshole or a troublemaker, but he's not. And he's also a fucking goof. And he has wonderful flights of fancy. Aharon-sa wa Hakarenai Season 2 is coming out. And I'm very excited about that because it's so fun. So fun. I'll also say it is probably the only anime of a comedic nature to have a rap battle that is both funny and not embarrassing. They figure out maybe that Aharon, our girl, would be able to express herself through rap, and she can, and then he can, and it's a very funny, silly scene. And then they realize that, like, oh, they're just rapping too much. They have to cut back on the rap, and it's a very good bit of business. All right, so I need 6 here. So we're building the backpack. That's a good one. I'm just kind of looking at doing a little preview here. Let's see. Oh, that's right. There's a fucking anime about the beer girls. So this is they finally made an anime about a phenomenon that is incredibly popular in Japan and in Korea, which is independently licensed beer and food suppliers at sporting events, and they have like Instagram pages and like, you know, social media profiles and gimmicks, and they have fans. There are people like their idols. There are people that go to baseball games because their favorite beer vendor works there. And this is a show about people that work in a ballpark. It is a situation comedy about a ballpark. That's coming out. That's based on a manga. I'll at least check that out. Was it Black Butler? Coming. Fire Force is getting a third season, everybody. I did not think that was going to come out because it's been a while since Fire Force season 2. I loved season 1. I liked season 2. I'll watch season 3. That's fun. Oh yeah, Osan is getting an anime. I bet that's gonna have no money. Oh boy. One of these overpowered main character animes, Katanaki no Osan. I think it's Backwater. It's Backwater Adventurer. What is it called? What's the roman? From Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman. That's the manga name. The translation of the name. It's about a guy that ran a dojo. He helped run a dojo, and eventually someone says, "Hey, you want to come work in the capital?" And his dad is like, "Yeah, you're fired. Go work in the capital." And it turns out a bunch of the people that he trained to be swordsmen are now incredibly successful people in the capital and work for the head of the guild and an S-rank adventurer and all these like things, and they're all like, yeah, we never forgot how awesome you were. And also a bunch of them were very young women, so now they're older women who are like, well, you were incredible, and you were kind of also like a surrogate dad for me, so I want you to train people. And he doesn't have any confidence in himself because he's just like, oh, I'm just a hick, dojo trainer. Like I never became anything. But he is great. That's the premise of that anime, and the manga, I should say. And then we're getting an anime of it, and that'll be. The art made me think is not going to get any money, but maybe it will. Composition of the key art looks bad. Cobra Kai, the anime. No, I mean this is the middle-aged guy is who just was a good dude and strong, but didn't believe in himself, is actually really strong and cool, and so now everyone's fucking psyched about that. Like it's just that kind of a bit of a wish fulfillment kind of series. Oh, I took the wrong piece out here. But it's a good manga. I like the manga. I like the characters that are in there. And the usual, like, this guy must suck ass. I'm going to fight him. Oh no, he would have killed me if he was doing this, if he was serious. Wow, he's actually awesome. I'm so sorry I'm a dick. That kind of thing. Oh, the gorilla one. I didn't read. I think this manga is just getting an English translation, so I haven't delved deep into this, but I do want to. Everyone gets the power of a god, and it kind of defines who you are and kind of the roles you have. And this like petite girl, who is like she's a daughter of a count, and she got the blessing from the gorilla god, and a lot of people don't know what that is because they don't know what a gorilla is in that region. And so she basically has to become a knight, and she's just like, I do not want to be a knight. I don't know why you would want me to be one. Also, I am incredibly embarrassed about having gorilla powers, because like she can't turn it off. She's now like unbelievably strong, but definitely does not want it. Gorilla God is a Flash villain. No, it's not, Lark Ashington. You know it's not. Good joke. It's a good joke. It's just like a very it's Gorilla God. It's just a good bit. It's a good premise. I haven't read much of the manga, but I like the idea of it, and I did not know that was coming out. I'll definitely check it out if it gets picked up. Also, as you might have guessed, there are a lot of handsome, attractive men that flock around her, which is fun. Let's see. Ooh, there's a ooh. Hell yeah. We're getting a Girls Doing Things next season, everybody. We're getting a Girls Doing Things next season. Is it original animation, a slice of life? Called PA Works is putting it out. That sounds great. Hibiwa Surigado Meshi Umashi, which is an original animation about daily life of 5 girls. It's 5 girls doing things. Who just became university students. They love delicious food, want to have lots of fun with everyone, and try their best to study, so they're enjoying university life to the fullest. So I think the thing they're doing is eating. It's just a food anime. But we're so goddamn starved for girls doing things, as like that premise is just like, or that style is just like, we're not feasting, so I'm happy we're getting something. Fans of girls doing stuff, the subgenre, rejoice. Me, that's me. Let's see. Oh yeah, there's the overpowered healer, the black healer. That manga is fine. I'll probably watch that. We're getting another one of those banished, but it's a romance one, like engagement broken off, sold to another country. The Too Perfect Saint, tossed aside by my fiance and sold to another kingdom. This is a good manga. It's a good one of those. I'm glad we're getting a anime adaptation of it. Hopefully they have some money. Who's doing this one? Troika. I don't know who Troika is. Oh, wait. Okay. Ooh, they did Overtake. Overtake was pretty okay. Ooh, this might be one of their. This is one of their first action series. That's not good. There's not a lot of action, but there's enough. They did a lot of Idol 7. Okay, they did one of the. Okay. Oh, they did one of the Fate. Oh, they did Aldora Zero. Okay. Yeah, all right. These folks do all right. If they're doing anything computer generated, it'll be in house at least, so that's okay. Yeah, I think their best thing recently was probably Overtake. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't expect them to do this anime, but I'm not mad about it. Lazarus seems kind of cool. It's Mappa doing that. It's an original. Mappa is doing back-to-back originals. That's interesting. I appreciate that. You know, I have my issues with Mappa as a studio, but I do appreciate the idea that they are doing 2 originals back-to-back. That's neat. Good for them. And that does look cool. There's also it's not Live, Die, Repeat. It is the manga. It's the anime adaptation of the manga that became the live action movie Live, Die, Repeat. I don't know if that's next season or this year, but that's coming out. And that I've always wanted to check that out. Lazarus is also the new anime from the director of Cowboy Bebop. Yes, that's the director of Cowboy Bebop, Watanabe, doing an original anime with Mappa. So, like, that's gonna be pretty good. I don't know if Zatsu Taibai, that's Journey, is going to get picked up. Or Zatsutabi, that's Journey, but I'm interested in that. I would like to read the manga. I don't think the manga came out officially, but it is the story of a mangaka whose drafts keep getting rejected. So she decides that she's going to go on a trip to get inspired and see the real locations. And it is based on a real story about a mangaka who did exactly that. And I've heard very good things about this autobiographical manga. So I hope the anime is good. And I hope someone picks it up. But that sounds really fun. I did not like Witch Watch. Witch Watch is going to be on Netflix, Hulu, and Crunchyroll. They did one of those licensing where they got everybody, other than High Dive, obviously. Windbreaker sees we're getting more fucking Windbreaker. I don't know if I am going to cover Windbreaker season 2 weekly here. I might. Another show I don't think I'm going to cover weekly, but I'm very excited about. We'll leave it on this. I'll stop talking about anime next season on this. I've been killing slimes for 300 years and maxed out my level is getting a second season. I did not expect that. Did not expect the second season for this. I expected a prequel, the prequel side story about the high-ranking demon girl. There is a spin-off manga about her that is really fun. I thought maybe that would get an adaptation, but the fact that we're getting more killing slimes is so great, because that is the very rare girls doing things isekai, because that's the best I can say. It's just fun adventures. Also, sometimes a found family is an immortal witch who's been isekai'd, a ghost, a surly ghost, a couple dragons, some leviathans, some slimes who turned into girls. I'm trying to. There's an elf that's clumsy and therefore somewhat horny. It takes all kinds. It's just a lovely, fun little series about found family. My favorite is the ghost, because she was raised by a single dad in a tough business, so she talks like a fucking sailor, and I love that. But she's dressed like a schoolgirl and a ghost. Yeah, it looks like there's a new character in the photo, so that'll be interesting. Slime daughters are so great. I love the slime daughter. They were born of her magic, so they consider her to be their mom. And it's real fun. Rock is a Lady's Modesty is the one that I mentioned earlier, the Elite All Girls Academy, where they're playing music. That's gonna be on High Dive. I gotta see that. That's gonna be that looks real good. Let's see. Do they have their news here? News. What are they announced? Modesty. They're doing plus size elf uncensored, which just means it's going to be hornier. Sword of the Demon Hunter, they're getting that. They're re-releasing in North America in April Vampire Hunter D, getting a remaster re-release. That's cool. That's all that's been announced so far. High Dive keeps putting out like one show or two shows a season that I want to watch. There was a big delay in a couple things, but like they'll have the third season of Oshinoko, so I'll get it for that. But right now, there's only one show so far that I'm like, I definitely want to see that. So but it looks really good. So I do want to see that. I am going to save some gaming stories for Saturday because usually there's not a lot to talk about on Saturday. So I'm going to save this for two things. I have two news stories that I want to mention here. One is a wait and see. I will talk more on Saturday. We'll do another roundup where I'll talk about voice acting and acting and the Screen Actors Guild and the strikes. There's some shenanigans happening there where some companies, one company was talking about the deals they had with people included the ability for them to use the dialogue that those voice actors used to train AI models, and they're an indie developer, so that fucking sucks. That we're trying to do that shit. And then there was also a story about another indie studio that is replacing actors who are not working because of the ongoing strike, because they were only going to work if the studio would sign an interim agreement, and the studio didn't. So I'll talk more about that on Saturday, because there also will probably be a little bit more about that tomorrow as more negotiations continue. So I need A1 and 2, and then A1 and 2. So we'll talk more about that. Quick news thing. Pokemon Go is the headline of this, but it's really about Niantic. Niantic is selling all of its properties to a studio that is owned by a publisher that is owned by a holding company that is owned by the Saudi Arabian government. No word on if it's been approved yet. But Scopely, which was purchased by the Saudi investment arm Savvy Games Group in 2023, they've agreed to acquire Niantic's video game business for $3.5 billion. They will purchase Niantic's internal development teams and major titles including Pokemon Go, Pikmin Bloom, Monster Hunter Now, and then some of the services they also work on, like Campfire and Wayfair. This has not been approved by regulatory committees yet. It probably will. I think I will. I am waiting to see. I do not think I will continue to play Pokemon Go if this sale goes through. That's a, personal thing for everybody, on their own to decide. I'm not here to tell you what you should and shouldn't do and what you gotta and you don't gotta do. I'm just telling you that me personally, I feel weird about that, and that's a bridge too far for me. Yeah. And a lot of people were like, well, they never had a hit after that. Like, they shut down the Harry Potter one they did, and, the Pikmin game isn't huge, and they never, the problem is they just never had a hit. And it's like, Pokemon Go still prints fucking money. Like, I understand they didn't have another big hit, but like, if you're saying that they were in trouble financially, you're a liar. And obviously, if you are a company that makes their money off of licensed properties, you are not making the same money as if you had original IPs. I understand that. But still, Pokemon Go was licensed to print money for a very long time. So telling me that they're, in a flop, they had flops and that's what they're selling is just like, come the fuck on. It's because they're going to get a lot of money for it, and the people that run the company don't want to start something new, or they just want to fucking retire forever and not have to deal with, a slowly dwindling cash cow. Makes it seem like the money must be slowing from Pokemon Go. I mean, like I said, Lord Crashington, no, it's just they haven't had any other hits. And the people that run the company are just going to fucking retire. They're going to get so much of that 3.5 billion that they're just going to not worry about it. 100 million people played Pokemon Go last year. And obviously, some people never spend a dime. They never spend a cent. But out of the 100 million players, well, they say they specifically sold it to go all in on AI. Yes. So fuck them. But yeah. Pokemon Go lead said it represents positive step. The team will be able to operate independently under Scopely. That's just insane to say. Yeah, it's just a bunch of nonsense. Yes. Niantic wants to refocus on geospatial AI business. So basically, Niantic is like, we're going to take all that money and we're going to do something that has nothing to do with games. But here's the thing. They still have the name Niantic, apparently, because they get to keep the name Niantic, and so there'll be something else. And so they get to use that money on some other dumb bullshit, and then they don't have to worry about video games anymore. Also, Scopely gave them $50 million invested in their new company, which was so generous of them. Ugh, it's all garbage. But yeah. Scopely originally was not owned by Saudi Arabia. They were bought in July of 2023 by Savvy, which is owned by the Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, the PIF. And of course, PIF has invested in Take-Two and Embracer and Nintendo and EA, and they own gaming developers already, and yeah. And then I also appreciate that game developer included the idea of the sports washing, and in this case, games washing of various crimes committed by the Saudi Arabian government, war crimes, and human rights violations by them. SNK is owned by the Saudis. Yes, they own several games developers and publishers, including SNK. And they also invest in a lot of places and people. So yeah. I think I'm done with Pokemon Go, which is a shame because it's a daily game for me. I'm now going to be looking for a game that rips off Pokemon Go in some way, kind of, I think. I would like a game that gamifies walking and moving around. Because even if I wasn't spending any money in Pokemon Go, I had the benefits of you walk and you unlock stuff and find Pokemon to capture and all that, and all that stuff. So I'm now in search of another game to gamify exercise and walking. It would be nice to have that because that's been beneficial to my state of mind. So hopefully I'll be able to find that. I don't know. I haven't done the big okay, I'm done with Pokemon Go. What game should I have? I have match 3s. Also, if I want my Pokemon fix, I got Shuffle. I got the TCG. I got Pokemon TCG stuff, so not Shuffle. Pocket. I got Pocket. Shuffle is an old game. I haven't played Shuffle in a long time. Pokemon Shuffle was a match 3 Pokemon game. It was pretty all right. I guess I could download that again if I want a Pokemon match 3. I probably don't want to download that again. And the only other thing is an update to stories about Prytania Media, Pokemon Cafe game. There is that, yes. Prytania is suing NetEase because, according to them, NetEase went behind their backs and told other people to not invest in them, and that led to the closing of Crop Circle Games, Possibility Space, and Fang and Claw. Those were all independent game studios doing different things, all owned by Jeff and Annie Strain. And they are suing for defamation because they say that someone from NetEase told other people not to invest in them, and that's why they closed, which of course runs counterintuitive to what they said when they closed, which was that internal documents were leaked to a journalist, and that has led to investors pulling out, which is what they told people like Austin Walker when they laid everyone off. Now they're saying it wasn't that, or it contributed to that, but that's not why they closed. They closed because of defamation. I don't think that's going to go anywhere, but it is definitely them trying to paint themselves as a victim, which is very much their fucking vibe. But yeah, lots of bullshit there. Lots of nonsense. I am not simping for NetEase. Please understand, I am not simping for NetEase. And it could be true, but it is just like, oh, great. I thought this was about ethics and journalism and trusting your employees and whatever nonsense bullshit you had to say about all that. Because you might remember that Annie was called for a state, like, to be interviewed, and that was a breach of her privacy, because they wanted a comment from her, based on evidence that was leveled against her, statements that were made against her. So before they ran the article, they were like, well, we would like your thoughts on that if you want. There, a reporter was doing due diligence, but that was harassment by that reporter. Just dumb bullshit. Dumb bullshit from them. Just like, yeah. And then and that was why they had to close. They're like, oh, well, because of this, an investor pulled out. And that always felt like complete and total fucking bullshit. And it turns out that was complete and total bullshit, because according to them anyway, it was bullshit. Who knows? Maybe it was a combination of the two. I do love that they're like, we tried to have them go by the books for a thing that we even admit is a thing they didn't have to do. Just, yeah, lots of nonsense. And then NetEase is just like, y'all are crazy. Y'all are trying to sue. The company that you own is a defendant in this case, because you're saying that somebody who was on the board did something, so therefore the company you own is liable as well, that you closed. It's like, yeah, what the fuck are you talking about? So, and again, on Saturday we'll certainly go more in depth on some other nonsense, voice acting stuff. We'll talk about that, because again, there are a couple. BlizzCon's coming back next year. That's an easy blip to mention. We'll talk about that. We won't talk about that. We'll talk about that in 2026. There's going to be another BlizzCon. I'm surprised they're doing another BlizzCon. But yeah, they're going to do another BlizzCon. I'm not super surprised. But it does feel like BlizzCon should just be something that happens within another convention and not its own thing at this point. Because, like, yeah, there's still diehards, but, like, are there enough for a convention like that? I mean, I guess, I don't know. QuakeCon still does well, so what do I know? But QuakeCon is, like, a weekend thing and a bunch of games, and I don't know. I'm sure there are plenty of people that are like, I haven't seen my friends since the last, my gaming friends since the last BlizzCon, so I can't wait. I'm sure there are people who are amped as fuck for that. And good for them, I guess. All right. So we're going to take a pause for the cause. I'm going to talk to you about ways you can support the channel and what I do here. Everything I'm about to talk to you about is optional. You're under no obligation to do these things. If you would like to, that would be great. We'll get through this fast. Then we'll get into some anime. The ZENSHU episode, which I didn't talk about on Monday because I had so much wrestling to talk about. And then Soriaro Utility, which I will talk about. The somewhat flashback episode here, and somewhat good stuff on that. So first and foremost, let me change this to that. Change that lighting there. If you are currently a subscriber to the Build with Bear Workshop, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the Tier 2 Blue emote in the chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here through Cash Money or your Prime Gaming token. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes and let the people know that being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here and get cool emotes, and it's a thing you can do. You could also use your Prime Gaming token. You have Amazon Prime, link to their Twitch, you can do that. You could gift a sub. We have not had a gifted sub since January, if you can believe it. It's March. We haven't had any gifted subs since January. So if you want to break that trend, you could gift a sub. Bits and coins always appreciated if you want to do a little cheer. You don't have to, but you could. There are other ways to support what I do here financially, like joining my Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear. Over on Patreon, you can subscribe at the $1, $3, $5, or $10 tier. There are different rewards for different tiers. Consider joining me on Patreon. My $3, $5, and $10 patrons voted on what game I played this past Tuesday, so that they voted for me to start a new Pokemon randomizer run, which I did and had a good time doing that. My $10 patrons are going to vote tomorrow on what I start for my next kit, because I'll be wrapping this kit up on Saturday, and I'll have something new to start, and they'll help me decide what that is. So yeah, take a look at that. Let's see. I have a YouTube channel at youtube.com/PatBear. Please consider joining me on YouTube. Subscribing is free. I post videos every other Monday and every Wednesday. So check out my YouTube. And then, of course, if you wanted to, you could pop over and become a member there. For just $2 a month, you'd get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. Nice little bit of business there. Let me see really quick one thing. Speaking of YouTube, just want to see if this video had gotten any numbers here. Let's see. No, not particularly. All right, I'm a bit of a slump when it comes to Kuma Baer. My Kuma Bears are not doing as well as I would like. That's okay. That's fine. Let's see. Those are monthly ways to support me. If you want to do a one-time donation, you could do that for PayPal or Ko-Fi if you want to do that. Everything I make through all of those things goes to a fund. I take money out of the fund to buy model kits. I was able to buy this kit, which is pretty pricey, and I was able to work on the Calria because of your generosity. Thank you very much for that. If you would like to decide what I build next, and you want to buy something for me to build, you could go to my Amazon wish list. Over on my Amazon wish list, I've got inexpensive kits, expensive kits, model kits, Lego sets, a Magic the Gathering puzzle, another 500-piece Magic the Gathering puzzle, which is on sale if you want me to build that. All kinds of different things and things. I added some new Lego pretty recently. There's some good Lego that is on the wish list. See if there's something there. You like. I put in a new Lego Dreams, another Lego Dreams. It's a cool jet that seemed neat. But I got a bunch of stuff in there. Be happy to build any of those things on the list. I should get that Zaku 2, the Zaku 2F type Solar, which is the from Requiem for Vengeance. I have not built any kits from Requiem for Vengeance, so I should do that at some point. Just because it would be cool. A bunch of things. I got some knockoff Lego in there if you want to get me some brick kits. They're knockoffs. Those are kind of fun now and again to check out. All kinds of things and things. See if there's something on the wish list that you would like me to build, and you can buy it. My alternative to Amazon is Throne. I got a Throne wish list, some model kits and such there. See if there's something there you'd like to see me build. And then if you want to support me financially, but you want to do it in the most convoluted way possible, I allow for that by going to USA Gundam Store. At USA Gundam Store, you can buy a gift card. They will send you an email with that gift card code. You can then use that gift card code to send to send to me. You take that gift card code, you send me a whisper on Twitch or Blue Sky or Mastodon, any of those places. You can just send me a message going like, hey, I got this thing. And then I will look at it and I'll go, oh, cool. I'm buying a model kit with the money you sent me. You do that. People have. I have a Discord. Please consider joining my Discord. It's lovely. We'd love to have you over there. Pat Bear's Anime Club is an ongoing video series where every week I talk about, every other Monday, I talk about something from the world of anime that I want to chat about. I talked about the joy of being anime only. Sometimes you just want to watch a thing and not have to read a thing. And there's various reasons why that is cool. Like, you don't know that you're missing out because it's really good. You don't know there's something you're missing. Or the manga ends really fucking badly, but the anime changes the ending or doesn't get to the ending, so you don't even know it did a bad job. There's various reasons to be, or it's fundamentally different in the anime and for the better. There's a bunch of reasons to watch, so watch that video. And then Kuma Baer is my ongoing anime recommendation series. In under a minute, I will try to tell you reasons to watch an anime. In this case, I talked about Diary of Our Days at the Breakwater, which is an anime about fishing and friendship. It is a lovely little series. It's a girls doing things style show where the main character wanted to join the sewing club or the crafting club, and she gets recruited into the fishing club. And it's got a lot of great characters. It does have a unreliable teacher character, which I don't love and wish wasn't in there, but it is. I'm sorry, we'll just here. Okay, we're good. Got an email that I can read later. I wish that teacher character wasn't there, but she is. Lots of great supporting cast. A type that I did not know I liked in anime characters, the very strong, big, tall girl who is really quiet and shy. Didn't know that was a type that I was like, that character's great. She's the best girl. So yeah. Consider checking out that little video where I talked about Kuma Baer and how it's great. On Kuma Baer, where I talk about Diary of a Days at the Breakwater, which is a mouthful of an anime title. Speaking of anime, I'm going to talk about 2 anime episodes here. But before I do that, what I need to do quickly is go to the overhead camera. I need to drink water because I need it. So we're going to do that and dramatically transition right now. If you're wondering why I've changed the light that shines on me, I don't mind it when I'm this small. When I'm bigger, I like a more natural light. But when I'm smaller here, this light shines on me, but it also shines on the build surface, and I think this looks better. So this is the natural lighting. I don't think this natural lighting is bad by any means, but the more white light here I think is better. I think this is a better light for the build. It does also splash on me. That's okay. No problem. When my background's removed and I'm small, it's fine. When I'm in this, I don't like it as much. So I switch back. I won't switch back every time. I just did that time. There. That's all I wanted to say about that. In case you were wondering what the fuck I was doing. Okay. I got some anime to chat with you about, friends. Let's talk about some anime. Episode 10 of ZENSHU. Shit hit the fan at the end of episode 9, where a character So, a reminder. This is important for this episode too. This is an isekai, where our character is an animator, and an artist who gets sucked into the world of an anime that she liked as a kid, a really depressing anime movie that she liked. In the last episode, a character who in the original one was the only character that survived, died. And our girl feels awful because the voids, the nameless monsters, were using her art and took the form of her art, and so she couldn't do anything about it. So QJ died, and QJ wasn't supposed to die. There are characters that were supposed to die that were prevented it, but a character that wasn't supposed to die did die. Following the void attack, there's a funeral for QJ. Now a bunch of people have died. Again, this original story was supposed to be sad. Natsuko is saying, I'm not going to draw anymore because her art could be used against them, so she doesn't want to draw. She's just kind of traumatized by this. Luke takes her off the team because, the squad, because it doesn't make any sense for her to be there, even though he is in love with her, but like knows that it's just not going to work out there. Protect her, so takes her off. Justice, the guy who's not part of the group, she isn't supposed to really have a role, the Dragon Man, is basically saying that Natsuko's the only one that can fix this, but she doesn't want to fix anything. And then things are happening that should have been things that like happened in the original story are starting to happen again. Something weird is going on. People are mistrusting her, but it's still skewered. The townspeople are starting to think that this stranger is the reason they have all these problems. They're blaming Natsuko, which is weird, but like you kind of understand it because like things have gone, south, and so sometimes when things go south, you just put the blame on the person you can see, the person that's different. So they're blaming her for this attack, which obviously is inaccurate, but what are you going to do? Basically, it's kind of described like, hey, Luke is going to fail. Everyone's going to fail. This was just false hope. The world is going to end. Like, you can't stop that. Destiny, who was the girl who was completely altered and changed in her personality, because of our girl, has kind of reverted back to her original character, so everything's kind of fucking up with that, because the person she was most inspired by, a version of that person caused a bunch of damage, so now she's kind of like fucked up. Like, basically a lot of characters are really fucked up here. Let's see, I need one for each. We're doing 4 of these. Just gonna kind of do piles of the stuff I need here. So then I need G2. I need a bunch of G2s. So that's all fucked up. She's getting engaged again. She's going to save the orphanages. And then Minimum, who dies in the original anime, because she was part of a cult. She had gotten better, and now she's back in the cult. But it turns out, we later find out, I'll just say it now, we later find out the reason the cult is trying to save Natsuko, because they believe that she could save them. She could save the world. But yeah, they're doing a new forbidden ritual. And then the townspeople are blaming Natsuko for what happened. She's become a scapegoat, and they want Luke to help. And what I'll say now is, we do not have confirmation in this episode that something is happening here to affect everybody, but it feels like something's going on. And the bird that had been taunting her is nowhere to be found. And we remember that the bird is actually a reincarnation of the original creator, who hated that Natsuko was changing the plot of her story. Never mind the fact that if the story went the way it's supposed to, the bird would die, because the whole universe would, because the original anime has an unhappy ending. So like, never mind that. She's basically just like, it's her epic, so she doesn't want the story to have she doesn't mind it having a bad ending, because that's how she wrote it. Which is, fucked, but what we gonna do? Okay, here. I need to do 5 and 6, and there's stickers that go on these as well. I gotta make 4 of these things. And then I got to make 4 other ones. So we do a 5 there, and a 6 there, and there's stickers that go on both of these. Lots of grunt work for this here. Okay, so 5, 6 goes there. This is 5. So let's see. So yeah, they're trying to hunt down Natsuko. Hey, we just got raided by Puppet Jared. Thank you so much. Welcome, raiders. Hello. Happy to have you here. Got a big old raid. I'll talk more about this anime later. Because it's a big spoiler, and I don't want to give a big spoiler to people that just came in from a raid. That would be rude as hell of me to give a big spoiler to an anime. So I'll pick that up later. Warning, we just watched G Gundam. Well, this is not a kit from G Gundam, everybody. Hi. Oh, we'll do this part. Hi, I'm Pat Baer. I build model kits and Lego sets, and I talk about anime and video games and all kinds of things and things. It's pretty chill around here. I hope you'll hit the follow button if you like what you see. Consider checking me out again. We'll go back to the overhead camera now that I've introduced myself. But yeah, I hope you had a good time. I know that it's anime season for Jared, so you're hanging out there watching some anime, and saying here that you watched G Gundam and that it was nuts. Here's the thing about G Gundam. We talked about this series before. We'll talk about it again. It's fine. Because I don't know what backstory, what I can give you some fun facts a little bit, or a little bit maybe table setting for it, depending on just like, obviously, it is a series that characterizes races and people. Thank you for the that's so nice of you. Thank you so much. That's lovely for the gifted subs. I appreciate you very much. Let's throw the Bear Cave Lego site tier blue emote. Welcome to Brogan and Vasti and Zettel and Marquez and Floral. Welcome to everybody. Enjoy. You got some cool emotes. That's very kind of you. We're now currently at 30 subscribers. The goal is to get to 40. I shut up about subscribers at 40. So, G Gundam. Obviously, you got Gundams and people that are very much like their country of origin. Weirdly enough, except for Domon, who is just a guy. He's just a guy, and his Gundam is just cool, and it's not a samurai Gundam, because he's from Japan. You know, you get it, you know. And then also there's a bunch of questions about, there are conversations to be had, if we want to have them, about Rain and her importance to the series, and various other things and things. The fact that one of our supporting heroes is a guy who is only doing it because it's his way to get out of jail. Which they don't always talk about, but they should talk more about. Because it's kind of wild that is a whole goddamn plot line. But anyway, there's a lot to be said about G Gundam. It is the first ever... Oh, wait, this is the wrong number, right? Yes, this is the wrong number. I need this to be... Yes. Sorry. The thing with G Gundam, as we've said, is that it's the first series that is not part of the main storyline. It is not a sequel to another Gundam series. It's the first offshoot that's in its own universe. It was the first of 3, and then there are many others. But back to back, thank you everybody. Thank you so much everybody for the follows. Appreciate that very much. I hope you enjoy our shenanigans that we get up to around here. Welcome to the Bear Cave. So yeah, it was the first of 3 offshoots that were like, hey, instead of just doing a sequel series, let's do something new. And we'll go a different way. G Gundam was like, what if we do like a shonen fighter, like a tournament fighter series? And we'll still have cool Gundams, but like, what if every mobile suit was a Gundam? And we have so many Gundams. And then Gundam Wing was like, we'll do a shonen. What if there were 5 teens instead of 1 teen? What if there were 5 teens and they were all different kinds of dudes? And like, we'll try that, and they'll appeal to boys that like cool Gundams and cool boys. And it also might even appeal to girls who maybe don't like Gundam. Spoiler, girls like mobile suits and Gundam and model kits. Maybe not as many as, you know, Japanese animators would like, but they do. But yes, it's a cool boy squad. And you got all kinds of different boys. You got boy that will kill you. You got boy that doesn't want to kill anyone. You got boy who is dressed like a priest but is like sarcastic and is using humor to compensate for his sadness. You got Boy, who was engaged to a woman, and that woman died, so he is a misogynist. And then you also have Clown Boy. You got brooding guy who is also was in a circus. You know, all the different kinds of boys. I will say this: Hiro Yui unlocked some stuff in girls and boys and non-binary pals. Hiro Yui made some people of a certain age and demographic understand something about themselves, which is, oh, I don't like bad boys. I like boys that threaten to kill me. Turns out. Some people found out, oh, I like that. Other people were like, I like the mysterious but not mean, which is Troa. Troa's mysterious but not mean. Not you. Yes, okay. You're all about Zex Marquis and Quadra. Yes. Some people like a nice guy. Turns out that some people want a guy in a mask. There's always a char. And some people just want the guy in a mask. And then your wife was all about Zex. I mean, that's the thing. Zex Marquis is just completely understandably great. We got some stuff here. We got a new choo-choo emote. Thank you for the hype train. Appreciate that. So yeah, I mean, and then, so Wing was a huge hit, right? G Gundam did okay. Wing was huge. And then they said, okay, well, Wing was so big. Do we do a sequel to Wing? They thought about maybe doing a sequel to Wing. And they said, actually, no. Let's do another offshoot series, and we'll see what happens. And they did Gundam X, which Japan said no thank you to. Japan decided, actually, no. And it was, for many years, thank you for the follow, appreciate it, the least liked Gundam series in Japan, until, actually, weird coincidence, Ugborg said, where does SD fit in? So SD, which unfortunately stands for Super Deformed, we don't love that, but SD, which was a comedy series about like chibi Gundams that go on adventures, and it's kind of a comedy and kind of an adventure series. That started in America. It's the only Gundam series that started in America. And then when that showed up in Japan, Japan was like, actually, oh, turns out we hate this more. We hate this actually more than we hate Gundam X. So Gundam X, I think, is great because it is a slow-paced series that only picks up the pace when they realized their episode order was getting cut. And so they had to pick up the pace. It is very much not Wing. It is not more Gundam Wing. It is in some ways a throwback. It doesn't have a lot of Gundams in it. Now, it's not like Turn A Gundam, which has almost no Gundams in it. So it's got more Gundams than that. But it's just like a different take on it. It brings new types back into the series. It is about kind of a somewhat cocky young guy who meets a girl and decides my mission is to protect this girl who is very important. And she, in another anime, would be the main character, but in this anime, she is the supporting character. It's got adults as pilots in a lot of the show. Is adults trying to figure stuff out, which the new Gundam fan base was like, I don't know. The last one had like 5 boys and like 3 young ladies, and then like some older people, but not a lot of older people. So yeah, X didn't do super popular. It actually wasn't available commercially in the US until they put a Blu-ray out of it in like the 2000 teens. And that was the first way, because I'll say that. When I originally watched Gundam X, it was not through legal means, because it was not available. But I liked Gundam, and so I went back to some back ones. There's a new Gundam series coming out next season. There was a Gundam series last year that I do not recommend. I do not recommend that you track down Requiem for Vengeance. Okay, so Vasti kind of liked it. Says was surprisingly good. So my issue with Requiem for Vengeance, there's a thing in Requiem for Vengeance that I think is rad. It is from the perspective of who we would imagine to be the bad guys. You would imagine it's from the bad guys' perspective. But the whole series is about how, like, we're doing pretty good. Oh God, a Gundam. Horror is a great way to kind of look at that. Like, imagine a series where the Gundam that shows up is like unkillable, unbeatable. It is a force of nature. It is Jason. It is a horror, like a modern classic horror villain. Because it's just like, well, we're overpowering them. We're doing great. Oh, fuck, a Gundam is here. We're all dead. And that's kind of cool. But it was made in Unreal. It is an anime that was made in a video game engine. And I think it looks like butt. I think the Gundams look pretty cool, but all of the human people do not look good. And it's only like a few episodes, and I think it would have been I think I would love it if it was in a traditional style, even if it was a CGI style, if it was a CG studio. But the fact that they did it in Unreal makes it look like like a fairly inexpensive video game, like a budget video game. Lashbury says the dub was pretty bad, but I liked how they portrayed the Gundam. I had no idea until a watch group did it. 8th MS that the head of the EX is based on the EZ8. Yes. Yes. There are some good references in Requiem to previous Gundam series. It's pretty cool. You liked watching Ruby for a while. Yeah. I mean, like, Ruby is a different kind of... The thing is, early Ruby, like, has a charm to it, because especially if you were, like, into the people that were behind it, you can look at Ruby and go, wow, they made this. They got this made. There is a element of scrappy underdog, and I don't feel that way about Bandai Namco, Like, I don't have that. Where I have that with Ruby, where I'm just like, yes, Ruby was also made a million years ago. But I know you're saying you're not comparing the two. You're just saying that, like, Board, you maybe have a tolerance for jank that would allow you to enjoy a thing that, like, doesn't particularly look great. And there are some people that are fine with that. There was an anime not too long ago about, like, a cat that got big, like a big, like, human-sized cat that is like a house cat that's like a domestic cat. And I thought that looked really neat as a concept, but the animation was such that I was like, I cannot continue to watch this. And then other people were like, well, I don't love the animation, but the story's good, so I'm going to keep watching it. I'm like, yeah, all right, if you got the tolerance for it, you can go for it. I still recommend, but I also agree with all the cons Pat is bringing up. Yeah, that happens. Clifford the Big Red Cat, a bit. Scrappy Upstart Bandai. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, sometimes people's tolerances are varied and can, like I said, I myself don't mind a CGI that looks good, right? Like, there's a difference between, like, we made this a completely computer generated and every element of it is there. I actually don't hate that. I'm not one of those anime snobs. The thing that I don't like, and it's so common that there is going to be a point where I'm just an old man about this, and that's okay, because I am an old man compared to some target demographics for anime. I don't like shows that are digital animation with monsters added in CGI by a different studio, where you're like, one of my favorite shows from last year is about a girl that is in she's a villainess. She's awoken into a villainess. It is isekai. She's a villainess in a fantasy world. And she wasn't like a lover of like dating games. She loved RPGs. So she maxes out her level. And it's a really fun show. Also, she's definitely on the spectrum, and that's an interesting protagonist there. Villainous Level 99 is the name of the show. The dragon in the show is CGI, and it bums me out every time I look at it because it looks like it's from a different anime. And like, that's not a deal breaker, but it is disappointing. But I know some people don't bat an eye on it. They don't, to them, it's just like, oh yeah, I don't know, that monster is like that. That's okay. And to me, it's like, I know it was probably easier, but it just sucks. Anyway, Villainous Level 99 is great. Like I said, it's just a fun one. I just love the idea of like, oh, I played this video game because it had a good RPG system, not because of the dating. So she just like, also because, again, because she is undiagnosed on the spectrum and that is explored, it makes it for a unique main character. Yeah, I don't know. Vasti, if they were, I think that Bandai might have gotten approached of like, you should do a series in our game engine. We will support you for this because we would like more anime to be made in this, is my guess. Which is why it was a short series, but I don't know. And it is like, it is weird to go from Witch from Mercury, which is their biggest modern Gundam series, like incredibly successful series, to go from that and then know that their next big anime main Gundam series is going to be like, it's like Evangelion but Gundam, which is what the next one that's coming out in a couple weeks is. And then they're like, in between, we're going to do an anniversary show that is web only. And then we're going to do a Netflix series that is a mini series that is done in Unreal Engine. And I was like, it's just a strange choice. I don't know. I haven't built any of the Requiem for Vengeance kits, but I will do that. So to talk about the actual model kit I'm working on, because I can talk about that right now. Why not? So this is from a movie. This is the Gundam Seed Forever, which is the movie follow-up to Gundam Seed and Gundam Seed Destiny. So this kit, there's a model kit. Yeah, Lord Crash did. This kit is a kit for the movie. This is a Black Knight Calria. There were 3 Black Knight kits. I have built the other 2. This one, a friend of mine described this as... this is the Gundam a Pope would pilot, which feels kind of right, color-wise. It is, I loved working on this. It is a very modern kit. This is a new build. It does not have polycaps. It doesn't have little rubberized plastic connector pieces. It has a lot of stickers, but like, I understand these stickers. Like, all of the gold here, none of the gold, I should say, is stickers, other than like, yeah, none of the gold are stickers, which is great. But like these purple gems, you would say, on the backpack that we're assembling, like this is sticker, and I don't hate that because, again, this is like a very unique kit. It is a knight themed, the Black Knights. And so I appreciate that. The other Black Knights have cool capes. This one, actually, hold on. I'm going to disappear here. I'm going to get them because I can. They're right over here. Let me wheel. Got to slowly wheel here. The other kits, you can see here, they feel more like a Black Knight. They got the shields, we got the weapons, we got the guns. I'll actually show you so you can see it. And these big, cool energy capes. There's a little dust on here. Pardon my dust. I like the idea of, instead of beam swords, they have beam capes. That's a silly thing that I always enjoy in model kits. And this one also has the beam cape. So these are the other Black Knight squad kits. This one has the Halo holding sword, which I really love. And then also it has 3 beam sabers, which is just, you don't need more than 2. So I love that. And then also the shield can be a grabber, and that is a silly thing. I like that very much. So these were like very fun builds. Enjoyed putting those together. And then I got the third one, which is right here, the Calria, which has the two swords, which are both like regular metal and also beams, which I think technically in my head, this is a dumb thing for me to say. This makes more sense that like, instead of just like a beam saber, which just comes out of the hilt and is like a lightsaber, this is just like, oh no, it's just like a track where beams go. And again, that's silly for me to say that makes more sense. But in my head, it does. In my head and my heart, it does make more sense. Anyway, G Gundam doesn't make... To put a fine point on it, G Gundam is a wild series that I don't know if it holds up, but it is memorable. And here's the main problem with G Gundam is that Domon is a great main character. Domon is awesome. He is, when he is shitty, is understandable. His motivations are clear and reasonable. The betrayals that affect him emotionally actually resonate with him. He does not brush them off. It is a story about love and friendship and family. And if it wasn't so goddamn fucking racist, it would be unbelievable. If the Mexican Gundam wasn't the Tequila Gundam and have a fucking sombrero, it would be an unbelievably great anime. I just built the Dragon Gundam not too long ago, and Dragon Gundam is just cool. It's just cool. It's just like a Chinese luck dragon style mobile suit. It's very good. Neo France's Rose Gundam, which is just a knight. This is a cool looking Gundam. With a, it's like there's some cool Gundams in that show. It's just unfortunate that that sounds like some J.K. Rowling-esque naming conventions. Yeah, a little bit. And because it's Japanese, don't worry, America does get skewered a little bit, which is great. Because the Gundam Maxter is the Neo-American Gundam. It is both a boxing Gundam and a American football Gundam. It also has revolvers and a surfboard. It's just like American sports and guns. And I don't pretend to remember the names of every character in that, but I will never forget the name of Chibbity Crockett. The Neo-American pilot of the Maxter is Chibbity Crockett. I will never forget that. And he's a playboy with a heart of gold. Do the revolvers shoot hamburgers? No, unfortunately. They're just but they're laser pistols. And they're also on his belt. They're like on the waist so they can turn and shoot. Like if I could turn that all the way and shoot, which is kind of fun, which I think some cowboys did do to balance their guns, or to, they did do that, or to steady them, I should say. So I guess there's some oh yeah, I guess in a way that makes sense, but it doesn't make much sense. That's a very silly series. And again, if it didn't have like big issues with sex and sexism and racism and cultural appropriation, it would be a phenomenal series. And instead, it's just a legendarily weird series. Unbelievably weird series. But without any context, like, oh, hey, one of the original teacher turned villain in that show is Master Asia, and he is, I don't think, supposed to be racist, a racist caricature. It's from Neo Hong Kong. Master Asia, who has a ponytail, and he has a real horse that he rides, and the horse has a mobile suit. The horse pilots a mobile suit, which is, unfortunately, unbelievably cool. Like that's unfortunately just the coolest shit. Like, oh yeah, I got a horse, and my horse has a mobile suit, and my Gundam rides the mobile suit. And that's unbelievably good. It's just very good. There are things to like about G Gundam, goddamn. But yeah, in a vacuum, it's just the weirdest shit. I could imagine not knowing what's going. In the same way that I'm sure people just tuned in to Cartoon Network, to Toonami, and were like, "What am I looking at? What is this? Is that a robot that was pretending to be a windmill? Because the Netherlands Gundam is a windmill Gundam." Someday they'll make that an actual. They'll actually make a physical, real model kit of the windmill Gundam. Because right now, I believe it is just a like knockoff kits. Okay, I am almost done assembling. Oh, I guess we'll do panel lining. I'll panel line these, and that'll be kind of the last thing we do. And then I have to build more of these, and then they're all gonna like come together and make up a big, cool backpack that goes on this. So they make a big, cool backpack, and then eventually, what I can do is I can take that backpack apart and make a different version of the backpack, and then I can put on unbelievably super cool effects parts. So it looks like there's like laser stuff coming off of them. And I can make a super cool backpack if I wanted to. Do I want to? I mean, yes, I do want to do that. When I finish assembling, it's going to look like this, because that's cool as hell. So I'm gonna do that. And there's other things you could do with it, but to me, that's the way to do it. Like if I have the option of, I can have a backpack, or I can have that like looks cool, or I can have a backpack that has like awesome effects parts sticking out of it. Like, I'm gonna pick that. Like, every time. I'm always gonna use this sheet of cool effects parts. Like, why wouldn't I? It'd be foolish of me not to. That's my destiny. But what we're gonna do for the next couple of minutes is do a little panel lining here. I am doing a thing. Technically, I'll talk about this a little briefly. I am using a marker here. I am going to use a gray marker on this light color here. And what I'm going to do is I am just going to hit all of the panel lines, just the lines that are cut into this. I'm going to hit all these little indents, and then I will go over it with a eraser. You could use a Q-tip. You could use a tissue. You could use your finger. But what I'm going to do is I'm just hitting all of these cracks and crevices, and then I will hit the eraser to just take off like the outer edge of that to clean it up. This is the quick and dirty method. There are ways to use some things in here that would do it a little differently. There's different techniques. This is the fast method. Occasionally I got to go back and fill some stuff in, but mostly I'm just hitting all of these little parts here that I would like a little more detail. You might say that it's making it look a little more cartoonish, or it's making it stand out a little bit. But if you look at this kit here, which has all been panel lined, you can see that it makes a lot of these lines pop. Like this line here would not be as defined if it didn't have a little bit of gray marker on it. It just makes it stand out a little bit. It does make it look a little bit more like it is from a comic. You can see down here, I did a detailed on that. But it just kind of makes it stand out. There are people that go overboard with it. They use these pens that allow for to fill the ink in, so you don't even have to, put the lines over. You just like touch it and it fills with ink. There are people that go and do their own panel lines because they look at it like a big piece and they go, there's not enough detail in here, so I'm going to etch my own panel lines in. I do not go that detailed. That's too much for me. I do not need it to look that good. I occasionally get on... there's one person who is ridiculously good at doing this stuff that does all these, like, YouTube shorts of them, like, making their own better joints or, like, their own filler weapons and stuff, and it's wild. They don't talk, they just go, and then, like, the original Gundam series music plays as they do all this stuff, and it's like, that's impressive. I'm never going to do any of that. I'm just going to do my quick and dirty methods of cleaning stuff up here and giving it a little detail. It just adds a little bit to it. I never used to do this, but as soon as I started, I realized, oh, it makes a huge difference in the look of it, and it doesn't take much time. Sometimes it takes more than that. And I don't have to, well, I guess I'll hit the black marker on here. I got more of this to do. This kit has a lot of, like, tiny little parts. I did finish the main body of it, but the backpack is really detailed. I imagine that I will finish this kit on my next stream, but I don't know. There's every possibility that I won't even do it then, but I think I will, because I don't have a lot left to build. It's just like a lot of fiddly parts and a lot of stickers. I still have, you know, all of these stickers to apply to other parts, which I will. But I will do that on my next stream. And that is where we're going to wrap things up today, I believe. That's how we're going to wrap things up. Yeah, we'll go back here to this camera, where I will say, hey, if you didn't already hit the follow button, please consider doing it. Thank you so much to everyone who stuck around from the raid. I appreciate that very much. I have known Puppet Jared. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. I have known Puppet Jared and the man that he calls his friend for many years from the New York comedy scene. And he's a good dude. And you should, yeah, I'm glad that you came in here. Please continue to support him. You don't need me to tell you that, but he's a good dude and it's a good fun time. But thank you everybody for sticking around. Now, because we got raided, we also need to share the love. So we are also going to raid. We're going to go find someone doing cool stuff and go hang out with them, because that's like the least we could do. And let me see who is streaming right now that we want to go hang out with. I'm going to go see who's doing some stuff. My next stream, while I get this ready, will be Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern. I will be continuing this kit. I imagine that I will finish it, and I might even start a new kit. So I don't know. Let's see who is doing stuff on a late night here. Oh, we're gonna go hang out with P2. P2 is a VTuber and a friend of mine. P2 is currently playing Bayonetta, the original Bayonetta. So we'll go hang out with my friend P2. That feels like a good person to go raid, because P2 is very cool, and you'll have a fun there. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your Thursday, or maybe it's already Friday for you. And I hope you have a great weekend. Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern, going to continue to work on this model kit. Hope to see you there or in a stream in the future. Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, I build model kits and Lego sets. On Tuesday, I play video games. Next Tuesday, I'll be checking out WWE 2K25, which is coming out officially for everybody this weekend, or like tomorrow. And so I'll be running some CPU versus CPU matches in that. I don't actually physically play the game. I just run fun, weird matches, and we laugh at the in-game AI trying to make sense of a ladder match. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your night. I'll see you soon. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.